Hey there, friends and followers. This week's video goes out to all the renters out there in the marketplace. Now, whether you're looking to get over here our way or somewhere different altogether in general, and renting is going to be the preferred method in which to secure a place in your new destination, then you're not going to want to miss this video. Stay tuned. So yes, as always, welcome back. So renting versus buying, buying versus renting, the age-old argument. Pros and cons for both. Of course, with owning, you can build wealth in your investment and not be paying someone else's way. But on the flip side, with renting, you can have the ability to learn your new surroundings and not be bound to a permanent location. Now, granted, what will work best will vary from person to person, especially given their lifestyle, occupation, and finances. However, if you do find yourself leaning towards pursuing a rental, these next 10 things are something that you're going to want to keep very much aware of. Tip number 1 is renting can be expensive. So it used to be the more expensive units were located immediately in the city. Well, this is no longer the case. We are seeing increase in rent prices in suburban and rural areas, this being a result most likely of the lack of inventory of homes for sale. Additionally, owners of these competing units are keen to the rise in rental prices and are adjusting accordingly. Renting at one time was the cheaper option to turn to, but in some cases, not so much anymore. Number 2 is rentals aren't always move-in ready. Now, in a lot of cases, they may look that way on wherever you're viewing the rentals, be it Craigslist, Zillow, or Facebook. But keep in mind, because these are secondary properties, a lot of the times the owners try to band-aid over problems or take the cheapest way out to correct any issues, which can turn into larger issues down the road. In fact, if any of you watching this have rented in the past, how many times have you had to fix or correct an issue on your own time or budget? I know I've been there. Number 3 is plan ahead and have a surplus of properties to check out. Now, when you plan to view units in person, keep in mind that where you're seeing them offered online may not always be up to date. The units could have been rented out prior and the listing may have never been changed. Also, it's possible that on some units, somebody has already submitted an application and could be in queue of having a background check performed or other screening that landlords do. Another thing to consider too is if somebody's application has been approved, they could just be waiting for a deposit to be dropped off. Bottom line, have a plethora of properties to check out when going out and touring units. Number 4, be prepared to walk into a mess. So something to keep in mind, when a rental unit comes up, it generally means that a previous tenant is about to move out or that their lease has ended. Typically, these individuals don't have much regard for the tenant coming in behind them, and if said tenant is still in process of packing and getting their stuff out of the way while the unit's being showed, the property could be in a bit of disarray. Number 5, don't be surprised if there's multiple applications. Now, on the sales end of things, we see multiple offers on homes all the time. Multiple applications on rental units is quite common, if not worse than the sales end of things. One thing to keep in mind, if you are trying to secure a rental quickly, it's super important to have all your documents together and ready to go at the drop of a dime. Copies of your driver's license, pay stubs, and even sometimes bank statements will be needed. Number 6, pets. Now, please be aware that some units will discourage animals, and if they do allow animals, they may restrict to a certain size or breed restriction. Another thing to consider is that there could be a hefty deposit that goes along with your pet. In some cases, animals do account for a lot of damage to units, so landlords try to ensure that they are covered if in the event anything does happen as a result. Number 7 is timing. So something to consider, even though it is a rental, you still could be at the mercy of someone having to move out of that rental unit. Especially in the event if the tenants to move out didn't have a particularly good relationship with the current landlord, they're certainly not going to do anybody any favors. If in the event timelines are delayed, this is only going to put more trouble and stress on you. Try and have some kind of buffer or game plan in action upon getting into the unit if delays are going to exist. Number 8 is appliances. Now, appliances can vary depending on the unit. For instance, the washer and dryer, are they inside the unit or maybe perhaps in the building somewhere? The kitchen appliances also, is everything going to be there that was advertised in the listing? Pay attention when reading the lease and making sure that all appliances are included with the rental unit, as the last thing that you're going to want to get into is not having anything to cook on or nowhere to wash your clothes with. Number 9 is know who you're dealing with. Now, I say this as some individuals will rent out their own houses directly to tenants, but more commonly, you will find that you're dealing with a property management company acting on behalf of the landlord. This plays a factor when having to communicate any issues or items that may come up and need attention. If in the event that it is a property management company, you'll definitely want to know where they are located and what type of response time they will typically answer you back with anything that you need from them. And lastly, number 10 is your lease. Read your lease. Now, in some cases, the leases can be pretty straightforward, but in other instances, it can be super one-sided and favor the landlord completely. You're going to want to know what's going to happen to you if in fact you break the lease Know if you're responsible for anything while residing in the unit, and what happens if you miss any payments or who to contact under certain circumstances. Well, there you have it, friends. That is 10 things to keep in mind when pursuing a rental unit. Now, if you're looking to get over this way to the OCALA Marion County area and a rental is on your radar, or maybe you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, you guys know the drill. Drop a comment below, reach out to me directly. I'd love to be whatever resource I can for you. Be sure also give the page a like and subscribe to stay up to date with great information as it's released. As always, thanks for tuning in and checking out the videos, and we'll catch you guys on the next.